Hi, what's up? So I recently gave a lecture on the Masters of Product Design at ELISAVA. At ELISAVA, I would like to share some thoughts. The lecture was 2 hours, but I'm gonna try to summarize it. So the talk was about research and design, but I wanted to start with a little bit. Comment or give my opinion on design ethics, no? Understanding the design ethics to all these tools that we have, all these models that help us to judge and decide if something is right, something is in our design, right? But also because in the most part of the existence of humanity, the things that designers made were tools, were objects, were something mechanical. But now when things become more complicated, more automation, then we see that at the end of the day, there are staff and systems taking decisions, automating these decisions. So then when we have this algorithmic implementation of model, then is when we really need to be careful and add this kind of ethics frameworks into the systems and products. So, for instance, if we see something like this, if we talk about the addictions of the screens, of course, through design you could make something a bit more fair, more inclusive, more transparent. But then, what's the root cause of this? So is this because technology is not neutral, right? So it's not, if we are talking about, oh, YouTube is a bit addictive, then that's the role of that's the goal of them, right? To make as many videos and many impressions as possible. So that's where we should be focusing. Besides making an app that is not that is inclusive and all these things. But also, if we look a bit further, then we also see that there's a systemic failure on that. So the reason why there's the kids stuck into their iPads all day is that maybe is because most of the population live in these precarious work conditions that they don't have the time to care of for these kids. So in a way, yes, we can implement design ethics and perspective to the systems that we design, but it's better to go some steps before and see where is the systemic failure, and then move towards that. So maybe it's not, design might be one solution, but maybe activism is another. So that was a bit my opinion, the framework. So then when talking about design research, I explain a bit why I'm why am I speaking about design research? Why me? No? So I went a little bit on the background. Explain 1995. I study product design. Product design is fantastic. It's industrial product design. It's what it's called. But besides what I was learning or doing there, what was very interesting for me was all the explorations, all the side projects that happen through the design. Actually, that was my desktop, but at the time it was full of experiments and things that by doing one project it triggers another project and another things. So that was my time at university. Then I finished 1999 and I started to do user-centered design. User-centered design, which is very valid and very fantastic, was designing briefings instead of products. Right? So designing what needs to be designed. That was for 5 or 6 years. I was doing this, and very nice. It was quite early on the profession because it was a new field, and mixing ethnography and designers and research and business and all these things. That was very nice. But then I realized that this was my desktop. Right? It was sterile. It was empty. Then I was doing very nice things, but that didn't branch out into other things. So I quit that line of work, and I end up in Hong Kong at the School of Design at the Polytechnic, and there I had the luck to work on a eco-design and sustainability project. Super interesting, and how sometimes, again, it's a systemic problem. It's not about if you can save some screws into millions of power tools, but maybe do we need to make those millions of power tools? That's a bit more not focused on the object, but on the system itself. But then the very interesting thing that I was doing there was doing SD Works with Ernesto Spicciolato. He was a professor there, and that was fantastic. Here, what I was running an incubator of ideas inside the school. So here we had this database of ideas, and then because we were close to the production processes, production facilities, we used to produce a small series, small batches of the ideas of the students. And then we were selling through a platform in a bit more entrepreneurial manner, and also in some shops and things like this. Like, for example, this is it was a very nice one. That was is a duck. It was done scanning a real duck and then fabricating in SLA and then with electroplating to give it this cold touch of a jewelry piece. Anyway, so this triggered me that to work in this field, to work in new technologies and explore them, to see what can happen. That's what I'm doing since some time ago now, about 3D printing, augmented reality, artificial intelligence. And the good news is that now that's my desktop. No? So it's really full of things and new ideas. So then jumping into design research. For the students, I thought it was very good to give them like this framework. This framework is informed by the work by Christopher Freiling on this paper on research in art and design from 1996. And also there is this design discipline. They have a very nice and precise explainer of this. So let me summarize. No? So there's this research for design. These are the things that any designer should make. So it's like the things that inform a design, that all the research, all the mood boards, all the benchmark, all the things that make a design happen. So this is highly popular and complex, and there's even companies making their own services and methods and approach to this. No? Then we have research into design, which is all the understanding of design, of the design discipline. No? It's a bit more academic. And then the one that is sexy for me, or the one that I have the interest in, is research through design, which is using the design as a tool to answer some research questions. Right? So here we include also many disciplines, prototyping, material research, all the design of futures, and all these things. But it ends up with a knowledge creation. And particularly for me, where I apply this research through design is through technology. Right? So when using technology, exploring this technology to create knowledge that can serve design or can serve other disciplines. So, for instance, then I went on and showed some projects done in different areas of technology and research through design. So, for instance, when talking about materials, I spoke about the projects related to exploring this change in the behavior of material through design, through changing, making these lattices implementations and different projects I did in this area. Then also working together with material sciences. That was a project they were developing a new material that was a piezoelectric luminescent material. And then we explored through design what could be the characteristics and the use of this material. Then also another technological area is the software, which is I'm quite interested with generative design, and how with different partners that I had, we explore different, like Euphoria, we explore different concepts of using this generative design and biometric data into the software to generate objects. Then also, of course, as a process is digital fabrication. I've been quite obsessed with this from the projects of the coffee cups, some jewelry, ceramics, and other stuff. Then I went on and explained a bit the 3D scanning technologies. Now, remember in in early 2010s when Xbox launched the Kinect and open source, and then we started to dig and explore how we could use this to scan, to capture, no? To compare to, we had these scanners that used to be thousands of dollars each, and now we had a device that was 100 euros able to capture reality. That was quite seducing. And also photogrammetry, when these things popularize, and we have open source softwares that are able to capture in high detail the reality, how this triggers other implementations. This is the slice of a tree. Or what else we had here? Yeah, scanning heritage, and also the mistakes and experiments. This is a model generated out of a video from YouTube. So it's, I did scan something or somewhere that I haven't even been. More things here. We had, okay, then how this triggers the new role for designers. So designers maybe could become not a B2B service, but a B2C, no? Something that maybe the designer is like a yoga teacher. Maybe the designer is like a lawyer, no? Something that you could offer these services straight to individuals, to people. Here the project Crayon Creatures and how this ecosystem work, how I didn't even touch the product, I just focus on the part that I master, which is the design part. Then other things, and yeah, okay, of course, then I realized that actually I'm craftsman, but digital, no? So that's where it comes to this digital craftsmanship. At the end, I feel I'm like this traditional craftsman making this pottery, but I'm using a global network of technology to achieve my goals, and how this gives a space for this parametric design, not designing objects, but designing possibilities, designing the context where the product or the system or the service can exist. Some experiments and some here, like so if before I did this one coffee cup a day, then here I was doing one coffee cup a click. No, it was a system where the user could decide the textures and the patterns and everything. And yeah, of course, then if we have this automation of the design and the fabrication process, then we can go to these apps that makes things. Here is the Nice Trails project, how it was done, and the framework that it existed, and how it was enabled through all these technologies all together, how it came out from this research in technologies. Then a little bit of augmented reality, explaining some of the projects and how interesting is this possibility of having having something in the real world without permission and without asking, right? So you can make this actuation in the public space that is giant, right? The scale is free, no? It doesn't have atoms, so you can actually build anything you want anywhere you want. And how these explorations are what I'm doing in this field recently. Then, of course, a little bit of AI, yeah, how this works, which is a bit detailed, that is everywhere, and little explorations on the image-based places. I like this analogy that this is attributed to Michelangelo, but is that in every block of a stone, there's inside there's any sculpture, right? So and it's the job of the sculpture to find it, to discover it. So that was quite interesting for me, and then this triggers the project of the confusing collaptories, because I don't have knowledge on beetles. So then for me, these, I don't know how fake they are, because for me they look very real. And then also in a more playful manner, I did the same with patent drawing or patent drawing illustrations. No, these possibilities of objects that could exist. This, I think, one day I will fabricate them. Then yeah, okay. Then this thought or this exploration on how all these things could be used for the design or for the creative industries, for fashion, textile, product design. How if we have this machine learning workflow that can replicate, can create novel variations of a data set, how we can have our own little generator. No? This project of making a set of lamps for hotels and places like this that they have many rooms, so they may have a theme, and then you would have this pattern generator. That was a pilot project. Then also this project of deep textures, that's also interesting on trying to use these systems to create utilities for the design practice. Yep. And then also how these triggers to understand what's in the data sets. No? Then this deep exploration of the COCO data set and how we see all the thing that is there and what is the misrepresentation or the lack of representation of something, and through this playful project also. And then we quickly jump to the text to image, which is quite popularized and common, well known. So all the students knew about it, so that's good. So we have a starting step. And how my point was like how this rises the standards. No? It rises the standards of creation and visual culture at all. So then students were thinking, oh, what's gonna be of us if everybody can do it? So well, then you need to do it better. No, you need to do beyond the average. You need to add this 2%, which is the difficult, that adds this value. I showed them some examples. This is quite interesting from Ben Paul on this portable nuclear or proton radiator or something like this. But this the style and the texture is so beautiful. It really gives a lot of design directions, and how it can be used for other sectors in a bit more practical manner. No? This one using it to generate these storyboards and the personas, or the work of Karen on fashion and exploratory and architecture and all these things. Then some of my explorations on implementing imagine objects in real spaces using images. Then again trying to generate textures and materials and physicality from these systems and how hard it is, and then how use these kind of systems in a bit more exploratory, talking about the Divide project and how this was used in another context. Then a little bit of new things that they are coming. They just released recently. This how the 3D, the creation of volumes and shapes is coming to these systems. And then ending with this message that at the end of the day, all these are enablers. No? So that's when I started with 3D modeling. I was doing in 3D Studio in DOS, and it was, you could do everything, but it take ages, and you had to be very specialized, and very few people had access to these tools and to the knowledge and the time for the learning curve. No? So then, and now when we have things like the real-time viewport in Blender and an open source free tool that you can visualize what you are creating in real time, this accelerates. So you can, at the end of the day, you can take more design decisions per second. So at the end, your design will be better because you have more tools, you have more knowledge. Still, you still need to do work, but is better. And at the end, with as a message is that it's our responsibility, or it's your responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility to know the technology, to know, not just be users, not just hit buttons and get results, but know what's happening on the background and tinker with these technologies. Because then here there was a clip of James Burke about the technology trap, no? How suddenly our life, our daily environment is so interconnected with and realizing technology, and how just one of the things fails and everything fails. So as more knowledgeable and resilient we are with technology, the better. And I think that was it. Okay, so I hope you like it.